duties.
No respite for Ukraine as on day 7 of Russian invasion, the Russian troops launch all-out attack on capital Kiev and other major cities. As per latest reports, at least 4 killed and 9 wounded during shelling in the eastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. Amid the escalating military operation in Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, the Indian embassy in Ukraine issued a fresh advisory, urges all Indians living in Kharkiv to leave immediately and reach Pasoshin, Bapai and Bezludovka settlements by 9:30 p.m. Indian time. Nagaland student Olga Milado, stranded in war-ravaged Ukraine, arrives in New Delhi on Wednesday morning. Nagaland Chief Minister Nltv takes down the Twitter to confirm Olga's arrival and express gratitude to the government of India. Nagaland Chief Minister Nltv inaugurates a new office building of the Directorate of Municipal Affairs at Kohima. Program was initiated by the Urban Development Department and the Department of Municipal Affairs. Assam Rifles Training Center and School held its attestation parade for new recruits in Sukhumvit. Parade organized for all the 600 female cadets who successfully cleared the recruitment process. Hello and welcome to Nagaland TV. You are watching English Prime Time. I am Chipen Kung. Let's take a look at the stories in detail. There is no respite for Ukraine as on day 7 of Russian invasion, the Russian troops have launched all-out attack on capital Kiev and other major cities. At least 4 people have been killed and another 9 wounded during the shelling in the eastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. 2 loud explosions rocked the Ukrainian capital of Kiev amid a threat of Russian missile strikes as Moscow bombed major Ukrainian cities. Russian forces have reportedly seized control of Kherson, a city in southern Ukraine. Meanwhile, amid ongoing tussle with Ukraine, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said that World War III would be nuclear and destructive. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says Moscow is ready for the second round of talks with Ukraine, but Ukraine playing for time at behest of the United States. Amid all these hostilities, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky claimed on Wednesday that almost 6,000 Russians have been killed in 6 days of war. In another significant development, the European Union has decided to exclude 7 Russian banks from the SWIFT network under sanctions. Amid heavy shelling by Russian forces, all Indian nationals in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city, have been asked to leave immediately for their safety. Notably, the Indian embassy in Ukraine on Wednesday issued a fresh advisory for its nationals living in Kharkiv and asked them to leave immediately and reach Pasoshin, Bapai and Bezludovka by settlements by 6 p.m. of the Ukrainian time and 9:30 p.m. according to Indian Standard Time as soon as possible. Meanwhile, a total of 16 flights have already brought back stranded Indian nationals from Ukraine till Wednesday. Another Indian student from Barnala in Punjab died on Wednesday in Ukraine after suffering an ischemic stroke. According to sources, the student named Chandan Jindal, aged 22, was studying at Vinnytsia National Burakov Memorial Medical University in Ukraine. He was admitted in emergency hospital Vinnytsia Givtia, straight 68 following a stroke. It may be mentioned that his father has written to the government of India to make arrangements for bringing his body back. Meanwhile, the center is also making efforts to bring back the body of the student from Karnataka who died in shelling in Kharkiv a day ago. With the airspace in Ukraine shut for passenger services, bringing back of bodies may take place through other countries, as it has been happening for evacuation of stranded Indians. The Third World War would be fought with nuclear weapons, said Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Wednesday, amidst escalating tensions between Russia and Ukraine. Lavrov further said that Russia would be in grave danger if Kiev possessed nuclear weapons. As the Russian forces inch closer to Kiev, the mayor of the capital, Vitaly Klitschko, declared that they were preparing to defend Kiev from Russian forces. Klitschko said Kiev stands and shall always stand. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also claimed that nearly 6,000 Russian soldiers have been killed during the last 6 days of fierce fighting. The much-anticipated second round of peace talks between Russia and Ukraine is most likely to take place at Belarus's Belovetskaya Bush on Wednesday night. There have been some speculations that the talk has been cancelled. However, there are reports indicating that it was not cancelled but postponed. The first round of peace talks between Russia and Ukraine took place on February 28, which ended inconclusively. Russian delegation chief Vladimir Medinsky informed that several spots where similar stances could be projected were identified in the first round of talks and hence decided to continue the process of discussions. An assassination attempt was evaded on Wednesday as an elite unit of Chechen Special Force Ketyrovsky carried out a special operation to assassinate the Ukrainian President Oleksiy Danilov. Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine has informed the special operation was to be carried out directly by the Ketyrovsky to eliminate the president, but was evaded, and the assassins were killed with information provided by representatives of the Russian Federal Security Service, who were disinterested to take part in the war. While extending support to Kiev in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, United States President Joe Biden has reiterated that his country will not deploy troops in Ukraine against the Russian forces. Biden's remarks came during the first State of the Union address delivered by him to a joint session of Congress on Tuesday, condemning Russia's premeditated attack on Ukraine. Biden said that Russian President Vladimir Putin sought to shake the very foundation of the free world. However, Biden added that the U.S. will not have boots in the ground in the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. Biden clarified that the U.S. troops were deployed to Europe not to fight in Ukraine, but to defend its NATO allies, including Poland, Romania, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, in the event that Putin decides to keep moving west. He further said that the NATO alliance was created to secure peace and stability in Europe after World War II, and the United States stands with Ukraine in the ongoing conflict.
Going to Europe to fight Ukraine, but to defend our NATO allies in the event that Putin decides to keep moving west. For that purpose, we have mobilized American ground forces, air squadrons, ship deployments to protect NATO countries including Poland, Romania, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. And as I've made crystal clear, the United States and our allies will defend every inch of territory that is NATO territory with the full force of our collective power. Every single inch. Our forces are not going to Europe to fight Ukraine, but to defend our NATO allies in the event that Putin decides to keep moving west.
US President Joe Biden on Tuesday announced the suspension of flights from Russia in the United States airspace during his State of the Union address. The move comes after several European countries, including the United Kingdom, France, Italy, Spain and Canada, closed their airspaces for Russian flights following Russian President Vladimir Putin launching special military operations in Ukraine. Biden also announced that the United States, along with its partners, is working on imposing tougher sanctions on Russia, targeting its banks, financial institutions and key individuals. Earlier on Monday, Russia banned flights from airlines from 36 countries in a retaliatory move against the European Union airspace ban.
The Department of Justice is assembling a dedicated task force to go after the crimes of the Russian oligarchs. We're joining with European allies to find and seize their yachts, their luxury apartments, their private jets. We're coming for your ill-begotten gains. And tonight, I'm announcing that we will join our allies in closing off American airspace to all Russian flights, further isolating Russia and adding additional squeeze on their economy. The Department of Justice is assembling a dedicated task force to go after.
Approximately 150 Indian students are still left trapped in the city as Russian forces continue with indiscriminate missile strikes on Ukraine's Kharkiv. These 150 Indian students are reported to be stuck in a hostel in Kharkiv city. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian authorities have reportedly started to evacuate the foreign students, including Indians from Kharkiv, to a safer location. Also, one of the buildings of Karazin National University in Kharkiv was engulfed in fire on Wednesday morning after being hit by a Russian missile. Meanwhile, Russian envoy to India has stated that Russia has noted India's request for evacuation of Indian nationals from eastern Ukraine. On the other hand, the Indian team of officials, which has been deployed at the Russian city of Belgorod, couldn't reach the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv for evacuation owing to heavy bombardment. On Tuesday, one Indian student was killed in a missile strike by Russian forces in Kharkiv. India's national tricolor came to the rescue of not only the stranded Indians but also those hailing from Pakistan and Turkey to cross into the neighboring countries of Ukraine. The Indian students who arrived in the city of Bucharest in Romania from Ukraine said that the national tricolor helped them, as well as some Pakistani and Turkish students, in safely crossing the various checkpoints in the war-torn country. They added that even some Pakistani and Turkish students passed checkpoints using the Indian flag. The students from Odessa moved from Moldova to Romania, further adding that they did not face much problem in Moldova as the Indian embassy had already made the arrangements. The Indian students arrived in the Romanian city to catch the special evacuation flights being operated under Operation Ganga from the neighboring countries of Ukraine. Air India SpiceJet and Indigo are flying special evacuation flights.
हम लोग ओडेसा से बस खुद से करके हम लोग मालदोवा आए। मालदोवा में जो बच्चे थे, जितने भी लोग थे असली में जो मालदोवा के सिटीजन्स थे, वो लोग बहुत अच्छे थे। उन्होंने हमको बहुत अच्छे से ट्रीट किया। एक्चुअली हमारे जो फ्लैट है, फ्लैट की यहाँ पर आर्मी से हमारी ऐसी बात हुई थी, तो वो कह रहे थे कि आपका जो है इंडियन फ्लैग है और आप इंडियन हो तो आपको इतनी डरने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि इंडिया रशिया का सब ठीक चीज़ है। तो हम लोग ने वैसी फटाफट फ्लैग अरेंजमेंट की और जैसी हमारी बस जैसी हुई तो हम लोग ने बस के सामने 2 इंडियन फ्लैग प्रॉपर बिगेस्ट बड़े लगा दिए ताकि हमको फ्री क्लियरेंस मिले।
तो कहीं पर मैं पढ़ रही थी कि एक टर्किश बच्चे ने, एक पाकिस्तानी बच्चे ने, सबने भारत के झंडे पकड़ लिए थे ताकि उन्हें
उनको हेल्प मिल रही थी मैम, जिसमें ऐसी
भारतीय झंडा का।
Russian nuclear submarines sailed off 4 trails in the Barents Sea and mobile missile launchers roamed a snow forest on Tuesday in Siberia. The development came after President Vladimir Putin ordered his nation's nuclear forces put on high alert over tensions with the West over the invasion of Ukraine. According to Russia's Northern Fleet, several nuclear submarines were involved in exercises designed to train maneuvering in stormy conditions. Notably, several warships tasked with protecting northwest Russia's Kola Peninsula would join the maneuvers. However, the military didn't say whether the drills were linked to Putin's order on Sunday. In a bid to further scale up the evacuation efforts, 9 flights will take off on March 4 from the neighboring countries of Ukraine with stranded Indians under Operation Ganga. The government has accelerated the evacuation plan for the Indians stranded in the Ukraine. By March 4, a total of 36 flights are scheduled to evacuate the stranded Indians. These flights belong to the fleet of Air India Express, Indigo and SpiceJet. The first flight taking off on March 4 from the Romanian capital city Bucharest is Indigo at 2:30 hours, and the landing is scheduled at Delhi Airport at 2:30 a.m. on March 4. 6 flights from Indigo and the rest belong to Air India Express and SpiceJet. Approximately 1,800 Indians will be evacuated from Ukraine by these 9 flights scheduled to take off from Budapest, Bucharest and Rzeszów. Air India flight is taking off on March 4 from Bucharest at 5:30 p.m. and its landing is scheduled at Mumbai via Kuwait at 6 a.m. on March 4. All other flights will arrive at Delhi Airport. Meanwhile, a total of 16 flights have already brought back stranded Indian nationals from Ukraine till Wednesday. Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai on Wednesday said that the government has received a photograph of Navin's body and it has been sent to the Ministry of External Affairs to confirm the same. The photograph has been sent by Navin's friends. Bommai stated that the government is in touch with the Indian embassy so that at least the body is secured. He stated that they are trying everything possible to bring back the body and his family will be compensated. He further stated that the process of evacuation is underway and it is being carried out on war footing. In the next 2 days, as many as 26 flights are scheduled to fly off from India to bring back stranded Indians. Bommai noted that the government is pushing hard to bring back as many as Kannadigas. The embassy have also requested the citizens to reach the different borders of the war-torn country. Bommai confessed that the embassy is facing difficulty in evacuating people as it is a conflict zone area. Meanwhile, Chief Minister also added that the center has spoken to the Ukrainian government and has requested to give the Indian citizens free passage through railways or via road on the west side of the country.
See, as far as Navin is concerned, some of his friends have tried to send a photograph that has to be confirmed, and I am trying to send that photograph to MEA and confirm the whole thing, and we are in touch with the Indian embassy also, and if they can secure that body, then they can transport later, but at least secure that body. We are trying to do our best.
Nagaland student who was stranded in war-ravaged Ukraine has arrived in New Delhi on Wednesday morning. This was confirmed by Nagaland Chief Minister Nipio Rio in his Twitter handle. Notably, the Nagaland student named Olga Mlado was evacuated as part of Operation Ganga by the Indian government. The minister expressed his gratitude to the government of India and requested the government to ensure the safe return of all Indian citizens. Meanwhile, Rio also prayed for the swift end to the conflict and for peace to prevail. Nagaland State's BJP, as per central directive, has constituted a committee to assist and help Naga students who are still stranded in crisis-hit country of Ukraine. In a press communique, BJP stated that the party will extend all possible help and support to those Naga students through the provided helplines and the information collected therein. From the state will be incorporated and forwarded to central leaders for further necessary action. Notably, in order to bring back the stranded Indian nationals from the war-hit country Ukraine, the central government under Prime Minister Narendra Modi has formed a special task force of ministers to evacuate those stranded through Operation Ganga. The BJP Nagaland State Unit therefore appealed and requested the family members of those stranded Naga students to contact for any help or assistance. The inaugural function of the new office building of the Directorate of Municipal Affairs was held at Kohima on Wednesday. The program was initiated by the Urban Development Department and the Department of Municipal Affairs. A new building was inaugurated by the Chief Minister Nipurio. Chief Minister in his speech suggested that about taxation and how it can benefit the society. He also emphasized and stressed on how Nagaland has come very far by stating that Kohima, which was once labeled the most unlivable city, has now come up in its number amongst the list of unlivable cities. Chief Minister Nipurio in his tweet stated that he hopes the new office will boost the morale of the employees to perform their duties to the optimum and provide the needed services to the public. He further congratulated and wished the department the best. On the inaugural function, Dr. Nikki Kiri spoke on the importance of women reservation and how the government should interact with the local bodies and village councils.
I hope with this new building, it will boost the morals and the working atmosphere, and you'll do good things in the service of our people. The aims and goal to make our town and a healthy place, prosperous and livable city. So the urbanization, when the people rush to the towns and cities, unless we have a regulation to bring a system, a modern town planning and building by laws, it will not be livable. As mentioned, it is increased from 19 to 39, beside notified towns, 7 census towns, and many other quasi-urban areas. That means we have to regulate, we have to bring a system.
Assam Rifles Training Center and School in Shukovy on Wednesday held its attestation parade for the new recruits. The parade was organized for all the 600 female cadets who successfully went through the recruitment process. It is to be mentioned that most of the cadets are hailing from the northeast. Meanwhile, the attestation parade was graced by retired brigadier of the Indian Army and Governor of Arunachal Pradesh, B.D. Mishra, as the chief guest.
So, making a history of most female contingent in Assam Rifle, this time, what would you like to say on the female recruits joining the Assam Rifle to serve the country?
I think the event today, it is unparalleled. I have not seen such a thing. I have not heard of all women passing out from any regimental training center. And above all, the women empowerment, which is the mission of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, I sight practically on the ground. And in world, not only in India, in world, the type of show, the type of drill, the type of movement, the type of precision, the type of word of command these ladies put up today, nowhere in world it is happening. My congratulations go to the Director General of Assam Rifle. His vision, his planning, his administration, his logistic purview, superb. And the training center commander, they have done wonders. I think our nation is marching ahead.
सब नागालैंड बा আছে হলিবে अलग अलग डिस्ट्रिक्ट पासे सब माना
तो इतो आणि किमान जोन दिसना सिलेक्ट होईना আছে এতে
মহান यादे total 12 ase. So manu jane kun army uniform lagaina birada so manu admire kurna saina edunishna man bi chutu dhaka dam deba Assam Rifle kan duty perform uniform duty perform kuri daga dikhina dangor hoise to dahan ke dikha dam deba ektin do dangor ha biside army join grow ina inspiration tagise aro edula motivation de build kurina ahina aji man true SSC really join Kurse man aro Assam Rifle by do opportunity dishe aro select hoina na one training 11 months training loikina aji pass out hoise
amian ma yendo bishi ba physically gule do amian do man physically bishi modeling ina la type se phapna guna amian la physical kan biya hone gi ina phapna guri de hulibi ina no hoy amian ki ja yeda aise physically fit thagishe gule amian la mentally bi ikilote work kri to yede ahaina amian bi train guri she gule do physically mentally ikilote kam gurna chale do beshi bhala jar beshi profit ase guna do message pongjai diase
adu yete amian aji select ho candidates kan bitorde amian naga manu bitorde yete ekjon cadet laga didi bi ahina ase talo hudilo man taikinga feel kore to apna bini inga army te gusi jado apni kinga feel kore
खुशी पाए और मुझे ताकि विशेष encourage करें ताकि like बच्चा तब बताइए जो interest आई है तो we all family encourage her and today she's success so we are very happy for her and we thank God for everything.
Family dikun bi army de asna nai.
Family dikun bi army ne first time is
तो ama baba am dikini ka feel kore family members kan
ama baba bi bishi खुशी पाइसे आज ताहन यदि आइले पारा नै vaccine full dose लोले ना पारा करने होले भी ताहन ला pray और support every time मोहन के होताई pray करे दे ताहन और support करना आज भी बिशी दिन खुशी बाई दे चनाई देबे खुशी ताहन बा तो इतने parents
Lieutenant General R.P. Kalita, General Officer of Commanding-in-Chief of Eastern Command, visited the headquarters of Inspector General of Assam Rifles north of Spear Corps on 1st and 2nd of March to understand the operational and administrative preparedness as well as the security situations prevailing in Nagaland. During his visit, the Army Commander commended the efforts of Inspector General of Assam Rifles North in maintaining high level of professionalism and appreciated their untiring endeavors towards assisting the local populace and civil administration, especially during the pandemic times. The General Officer met with Chief Minister Nipurio and held discussions on the security scenario and issues pertaining to the state of Nagaland. Furthermore, the General Officer, while talking to the Chief Minister, assured full support of security forces in maintaining a conducive security environment in the region. He also interacted with the Chief Secretary of Nagaland, J. Alam, during his visit. Lieutenant General R.C. Tiwari on Wednesday took over as Corps Commander of Spear Corps, Kohima. It is to be mentioned that prior to taking over this appointment, Lieutenant General R.C. Tiwari was the Chief of Staff in the headquarters of South Western Command, Jaipur. Notably, the General is an infantry officer and was commissioned in the Command Regiment of the Indian Army in 1987. He is an alumnus of the National Defense Academy, the Defense Services Staff College, College of Defense Management, and the National Defense College. Furthermore, he also held several prestigious command and staff assignments in conventional as well as counterinsurgency operations in India and abroad. He commanded an infantry battalion in counterinsurgency operations, Mountain Brigade in high altitude, and Black Cat Division as General Officer Commanding. Narcotic cell personnel of Nagaland Police has seized around 600 grams of heroin worth 1.8 crore. It was seized in the illicit global market, Kohima, on February 27. Notably, the narcotic cell personnel of Nagaland Police has identified the accused as 29-year-old Lemintang Kongsai, son of Bokusai Kongsai of Paipjang village under Motpang Police Station of Senapati District in Manipur. He has been arrested in this connection. Reportedly, the contraband concealed in 50 soap cases was seized by the narcotic cell personnel manning the narcotic checkpoint at Kusama in Kohima from a vehicle MNOSP 1186 Maruti Ciaz. A case has been registered under the 60 Anti-Peace Act in this connection. Meanwhile, the Nagaland police, after the launch of the month-long statewide operation in January to combat the menace of drugs and psychotropic substances and IMFL and its effects on the youth, made various seizures, including arms and ammunition, and arrested 78 persons from January 1 till February 21, 2022. A farewell program for N. Moa Iyer, retiring additional Chief Electoral Officer of Nagaland, was held on Monday at D Block Panchayat Hall in Kohima. During the farewell program, a spatial number and a video recording of the retiring officer during his career was presented by the IT cell of the CEO office. Meanwhile, Moa Iyer, in his farewell speech, said that he has rendered more than 33 years of his service in the election department. He further extended his gratitude to his colleagues and also his family for their continuous support throughout his tenure. Furthermore, the Chief Electoral Officer V. Shashank Shekhar expressed his good wishes to the retiring officer and shared his experiences of working with him. Notably, the program was chaired by Rukovodyo Gije, joint CEO. The second season of Miss Queen of Nagaland was held on Tuesday at IMC Hall, Dimapur. It may be mentioned that the pageant was organized by Sparkles Entertainment, whereby Abel Naga Achumi and G. Vikupu Sumiyapto graced as the special guest. A total of 12 participants took part in the event, while the winner of the title Miss Queen of Nagaland was backed by contestant number 4, Shelly Achumi. Meanwhile, the first runner-up was backed by Jin Singh, second runner-up by Livia Awomi, third runner-up by Kari Yanta, and the fourth runner-up was backed by Nikki Awomi.
I thank you for this wonderful the subtitle. The three words that describe me is confident, beauty, ability to stand in front of you. Thank you. I already meet Deepika Padukone because I really inspired by her. Her story, her background really inspired me. The way she is, I really like to follow her, and this is why I like to meet Deepika Padukone. Thank you. The best three words that describe me is confident, beauty,
The Catholic Association of Nagaland has issued a statement on the Nltv Act 1989 during the consultation held on the 24th February 2022. The statement opined that the Nltv Act 1989 may be redressed with the cardinal objective of evolving laws or acts of the government which will promote a common good for all the people. Furthermore, the association also stated that the Nltv Act 1989 should be reviewed with the principle of do no harm or harm reduction approaches. Meanwhile, the association also urged the government to enact new laws or acts to allow the supply of good quality alcohol with controlled mechanism. Furthermore, to address the issue, it has proposed reduction of supply, demand harm, and reduction strategies of alcohol menace to reduce the harms on social, economic, and health of community associated with alcohol consumption. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday invited ideas from the information and technology and electronics sector for e-waste management, electric mobility solutions, and circular economy. Addressing the post-budget webinar on technology-enabled development in India, Prime Minister Modi said that the nation should identify innovative ways to handle e-waste with the help of technology to take forward the Swachh Bharat mission. PM Modi also said that the Union Budget 2022-23 focuses on skilling programs that will promote continuous skilling avenues, sustainability and employability. Sports legends and stars from the war-ravaged Ukraine have picked up arms to defend their country from the invading Russian forces. Notably, the Ukrainian sports legends and stars to pick up arms against Russian forces include heavyweight boxers, Olympic wrestler, former tennis player, and also a football club manager. Meanwhile, heavyweight boxers including Klitschko brothers Vitaly and Vladimir have also picked up arms in defense of their homeland. Boxers Alexander Usyk, Vasily Lomachenko and Yaroslav Amosov have also announced to defend their country against Russian invasion. Meanwhile, Ukrainian tennis star Sergei Stakhovich has also signed up to join the Territorial Defense Force to resist the Russian invasion. Olympians Dmitry Bedruchny and Dmitry Mazurchuk have also enlisted into the Territorial Army. And that brings us to the end of Nagaland TV English Prime Time. For more news and updated information, keep watching Nagaland TV. This is Chipen Kwung signing off.
Russian forces पर यूक्रेन के हमला करिकेना मामला डंगर करिकेना जा हमय 136 civilians निशना मौत हुइसे कइकेना UN Human Rights Council पर जनाइसे यूक्रेन डिफेंस मिनिस्ट्री कइसे बेलारुस पर यूक्रेनते ट्रुप्स पटाबले तयार करि আছে Russia Ukraine majate second round peace talks to Wednesday ratite hobole pare koikina khobor ahi ase talks to Belarus laga Beloshevskaya fusheshte hobo duita desh majate first round talks to iku samadan